Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Ryan Selvey, and we are so excited to have Ashley Batz here. We are going to be going into some photography and building out a portfolio today, but we have a lot to learn and a lot to get through. So, welcome to the show, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here. Do you just want to give a quick rundown of yourself as an artist?
Yeah, it's a really great question, and I'm curious what other people may say about themselves. Might be a good thing for the chat, but I'm a commercial artist. I shoot fashion, beauty, athletic work. And what I like to say is I just like to do it in my own way, versus being in a very specific niche. And a lot of my work is based on film. So not only am I shooting film, I'm shooting digital and hopefully transcribing my digital to look a little bit more like film so that it's more of a cohesive portfolio.
Well, I have a bunch of film that I still need to develop, and I have had it in my house for about 6 months now. So,
What?
yeah, I mean, they're just like disposable cameras, but I just haven't brought it myself to bring it to get it developed. We are live, like you said, on both Behance and YouTube. But if you guys are watching this as a replay, I promise we'll make it worth your while. Hello, though, to those who are here at the time of filming, and that is to Sean and Apurva and Cody. Good to have you here. To make sure you guys say hello. If you have any questions for Ashley, comments, if you need advice or anything, please throw it in the chat, and I'll be sure to relay it over to her. But I would love to take a glance at your website and we can kind of walk through some of these works that you were mentioning.
Yay. All right, here's my website.
AshleyBatz.com.
And
It's bats
oh,
with a
that's
Z,
right. It's a very cool name. I'll never let it go.
especially for October. It's the
Um,
vibe.
I know. We're spooky season.
Spooky season. I'm all about it. I'm ready for it.
Me too. Yeah, this is my work. This is an overview page, which is what I think is helpful for folks if you're a photographer or an aspiring photographer. I really recommend having a quicker look at your work, for folks to, people at agencies or people that are art buying to just take a nice glimpse of an overview of what you're doing, and then you can kind of show different categories if they want to spend a little bit more time.
Right. The less clicks, the
But
better,
you'll,
especially when people
yeah,
are recruiting or looking for stuff. You want to have the least amount of interference with between them and your work.
yeah, I agree. And I think for me, I really love having this as one image at a time. I'm really hoping that people take it in and aren't influenced by other images that may not be from that same project or shoot. So I'm just hoping that these live a little larger than life in here. And you'll just notice that some are film, like this one, next to some that are digital. But I'm really trying to make sure that they all feel like one person took these photos, which is me.
Nice cohesive in that regard. Yeah, because I see you have lots of different focuses. I know we talked a little bit about there's fashion, but there's also sport, there's portrait. And it's really cool that there's cohesiveness through all of the approach just because it's kind of in your eye. We have Warren from the Bahamas joining us, and we also have David from Boston joining us. Would love to hear where everyone else is tuning
Nice.
in from. And yeah, what you guys think of the photos. But
Yes, please.
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, this is my overview.
So do you tend to shoot a lot in like studio spaces, or do you kind of like the unpredictability of shooting on the street?
I feel like that's such a great question, and I'm loving it both. They both have different challenges, different pros and cons. And
Of
so
course.
I think what's amazing about shooting in studio is the control that you have, and
Yeah,
you're from, a zero level creating something out of nothing, which I think is beautiful. And it's this nice, community aspect where you're all in one space together.
hmm
Um, but then almost there's nothing like natural light, and there's nothing like seeing the world around you. So I think there's a time and place for both, but you're just kind of flexing different muscles depending on where you're at?
of course. And what is relating best to whatever you're shooting. We have John from New Orleans, Fouat from Riverdale, which is in the Bronx, and then we also have Skip joining us. Thank you to Sean for joining from Germany. But yeah,
Oh,
if you
thank you.
guys see a favorite on here, make sure you shout it out. I really liked the one that we were looking at that kind of looked like it was in a greenhouse, but it was like black and white.
Mm.
It's cool how you integrate some architecture into some of your shots because obviously a lot of your shots are very figurative, but it's nice that also the space is adding an element to it.
Yeah, and this was a really cool place. It was a house that was going up for sale, which was really interesting, and it still felt quite abandoned, but
Yeah.
just using this space in its natural state was really interesting. And having this, she's a dancer, so having her move through it was like just another added layer, I thought, of just something so special, you
Did
know?
you have the opportunity to kind of know the house before going into it where you were able to develop a shot list, or was it more of a show up on the day of and kind of just find the best light?
It was more of what you said on the latter part. I
Yeah.
was, you rent a space for a certain given amount of time, and so yeah, you we jumped in and identified the looks and where they would go. And I don't know, I just love this is an editorial, so it's so nice to just be fluid and have the the creative spark really get you in the moment, you know?
Yeah, and I think that also adds a great transition point for us too, as we're kind of hopping into portfolio building. Is you obviously probably have commercial photography and editorial photography, and I assume you probably approach them differently. Um, Also, I'm sure you also advertise them differently. When you're
Yeah.
when you're approaching one versus the other, do you keep certain things in mind if it's for commercial versus if it's editorial?
Yeah, so I think something that I learned is I just scroll for you to look at more images. This is more on the editorial side. I really think it's important when you're sending images to folks that you want to have them look at your work and seriously consider you for to hire you for work, that you're not only sending them things that would be relevant to them and what their kind of work is, but make sure that it's also a cohesive story in of itself. I tend to love to show more projects versus a smattering of different images so that it really feels cohesive in a point of view. But at least I think you should stick within the genre that it might be when sending out some work to people. What do you think about that?
No, I think that knowing your audience is super important, as long as you can also balance it with your own vision, which I think you do a really good job at.
Yeah,
Um, but sometimes I get so in my head of the audience that sometimes it gets in the way of my own artistic vision.
I feel you. And I think I mean, I've been doing this for over a decade now, which is great. And I think it's only until recently that I've realized that I have the control to kind of show things that I want and drive my narrative in a certain way. And then
Right.
if somebody asks, "Oh, have you ever shot something like this?" Then I have a whole archive of things that may not fit my vision, but my technical skills, yes. And then I can show them that too, which is awesome.
Great. And seeing lots of different um, approaches here. Some that are just solo, other that have duos of people. Um, and then so yeah, for this one up here with this ballerina, that
Mm,
right here, yeah. So is
hmm.
that paint? Is that vitiligo?
Yeah.
What is that? What is the curvature on her back?
So that was a shoot I did in London, and the idea for it was kind of uh I always like to have a storyline, whether or not maybe our audience knows about it. It's kind of something to help me keep grounded in the story.
Okay,
But this is all about the things we wear, the things we don't wear, the things you see, the things you don't see, how we present ourselves, how we mask ourselves. And so the paint is kind of like that open-ended question of like, am I hiding? Am I showing? Just what is that? It's just a little extra surreal moment in my mind.
yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, I think that it's really cool that you have these kind of additional layers that go over the entire shoot rather than just an individual shot. And when you're
Yeah.
approaching taking a set of photos, being able to have something that grounds you, I think is a really good piece of advice.
Yeah, and it helps me. I'm just showing you this other one, this one down here. This is part of that as well. She's got red paint on her hands as if she's wearing gloves, but
Yes.
she's not wearing gloves. So it's just like this little hint, and I wanted it to feel a little bit of magical realism and this is all analog as well. So if that makes any sense, but it's fun to think about, you know?
Yeah, I mean, shooting an analog also must be so stressful that you can't review it when you're on the spot, right?
It is, but I do recommend bringing a digital camera and doing it again, just in case, you
Just in
know?
case as a backup. And so you
Yeah.
tend to have two
Yeah.
cameras on set.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
a medium format film camera and then my trusty digital camera. And yep, I shoot with them both all the time. And I love to try and marry the two in post so that I really love the tonality of film. So any way I can get my digital to look more like that, I'm game.
Yeah. And what do you have a preferred brand that you like to use for cameras?
I have a Contact 645, which I'm loving.
That's your go-to. How long have you had that for?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well over a decade. I bought
Okay.
it a long time ago, kind of sat on a shelf for a little bit because people weren't really using film in commercial work.
Yeah.
And in the last few years, it's really come back and I'm loving it. I'm just loving that people are asking for film and it just really changes everything. You know, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's funny. I recently just got married, but as part of the package deal, you could pay more to get them to bring along a film one. And I was like, wow, we've come full circle. Like for the
We have,
longest time, like it was like, you can have the digital and that's like a luxury, and then digital became the standard, and then now it's like, okay, film is now the luxury.
oh my
Which
goodness.
I'm here for.
Did you
I
go
dig
for
it.
it?
We did not.
Oh,
But we haven't gotten our pictures yet, so I don't know if I regret it yet or not.
well, you can ask me. I'll just make all your digital look more like film. There
No,
we go.
thanks. Oh, love the snack picture sitting on the kitchen
Yes, me
floor. It has
too.
so much
She did
personality.
such a great job. She got to
Yeah,
eat so many Cheetos.
do you tend to work with stylists? Like how many people are normally on set?
Yeah, it's gotten bigger and bigger as time
Yeah.
goes on. We've got hair, makeup, wardrobe, prop styling, or art department, depending on what role you're in, which is fun. I have assistants and digital techs, which are people that are tethering my camera to monitors so that clients can see. Um, it's come a long way. It's very interesting.
Oh, we have some questions coming in through the chat from Hothead 386. It says, "Would you say digital or film is easier to work with?"
Mm, I feel like they're both easy to work with, and I'll tell you why. I think digital is kind of it's a it's a response that you get immediately when you look through your camera. You get to see what you want to change and don't want to change. But then film's really fun because once you get a decent exposure, it has a lot of latitude, and you just can't beat um, that treatment that it has based on the type of film and how it's exposed. And so I don't know, both are easy. I think film, you should also just give yourself a little bit of leeway on it just because you never know. A happy accident might honestly look the best.
Yeah,
So
that might be the one that you take
yeah,
away and appreciate. Sean's asking,
yeah.
what film make do you prefer?
I use Portra, probably 400 ISO or 800 ISO, depending on where I'm at in the world. Inside, I'll bring the 800 just in case I need to have a
Really
little bit
blast it
more
out.
punch. Yeah.
um, well, great. Well, as we're kind of looking through things, I'd love to hop into Lightroom and take a look at some of
Great.
the pieces that you would like to incorporate into a portfolio. I know you mentioned that you like to use Lightroom Classic. Is there a reason why you are drawn towards Lightroom Classic?
You know, I use both, and I've been on Adobe Live using Lightroom and not Lightroom Classic, but I just grew up using Lightroom Classic, so it's fun to go back, but also great to try new things. So, you know, I'm
There's
for
no
it.
wrong answer. It's just more of an idea of like I always love hearing what drives people towards. I feel like legacy is a big driving force for people to use the classic, but everyone always has their
Yeah.
preferences. Also, in the YouTube chat, we have a poll going of which they prefer between editorial photography, commercial photography, and photography just for
Ooh,
me. Um, what do you think is currently winning?
I hope it is ah Editorial? What do you think?
So it's currently tied between editorial and photography just for me, with commercial very clearly
Oh, I
in
love
last
that.
place. Sean is also excited to see some Lightroom Classic love because I know Sean is also a photographer and likes to hop into Lightroom Classic.
It's so fun. This is like when I first started shooting, well, actually, when I first started shooting, none of this really existed.
Hmm.
And then when this existed, I was working for wedding photographers, and this is where we would do our edit. We would actually get film back because this is still pre-digital, and then we would work on images and make sure they're all cohesive and order them in a certain way. So my heart started here, you know?
Yeah, important to remember the OGs, right?
Yeah.
But so what is this shoot that we're looking at here with this model all in black with white shoes? What was the focus of this one?
So this is for a store, a designer store that is based in Long Island, actually, but we are always tasked with being able to create editorials that we love, which is really fun. It's such a special thing when you are able to do that. And so my small team and I came up with some ideas of things that we wanted to explore. And it's also tied to the season and maybe what type of clothing we're wearing. So it's a clothing forward story, but I'm always trying to get some feeling in my work. So yeah, and I get to try things that I've always wanted to try. So we're at a studio called Go Studios. I love it very much. They have a beautiful skylight. So this actually, this set of images is actually only using natural light. So I love that. And so I thought we would just go through and pick a few that we wanted to work on and then take them into Photoshop, finesse them a little bit, and then show you what I actually do when I'm actually sending out these images that I've created and in the hopes that I get new work.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm excited to hop in.
Yay! Okay, well, I kind of was drawn to this image, so I want to work on it, but then I'll apply that sort of treatment that we're doing and then just see, maybe go back and we can all talk together about what we felt like were the strongest images.
Hmm.
Um, I did shoot this on film, so I have a sense of what that looked like on my film, which is really fun. Again, it's so nice, even if you don't have a ton of money to shoot all film, try to do a roll of film just so you have that treatment and you can kind of toggle between the two.
Right, and just have that
So
grounding, that reference.
yeah. And so I think that means a lot. Film means different things to everybody, but what I see is that like nothing is too crushed, like everything is like a little bit more open. There's a lot more latitude in what you're seeing. So I'm always just trying to bring things together so that it feels more like film, which I love.
Yeah. We have a question from AJ Eagle in the chat saying, when preparing a presentation or curating images for an audience, how do you ensure accessibility, like making your visuals and storytelling understandable to people with different abilities and backgrounds?
Well, that's a really good question. I'd love to know what they think about that. Typically, what I'm doing is sending a PDF of my work to people that I already know, and I know what their accessibility is. So hopefully someone would give me their answer of what they would need, and we can work together on how I can best show it to them. But I'm curious, do you guys have any recommendations in general?
Yeah, I think it's a great question to also open up
It's
to
a great
chat.
question.
I know I don't know much to speak of for photography, but I know for design, you can definitely look at
Hmm.
images under different like contrast hierarchy, or you can look at even what it looks like if someone's colorblind, which is always important, especially if you're doing UI or UX. But I don't necessarily know exactly the best way to approach it for photography. So I would love to hear in the chat if you guys also have experience with that. Sean is mentioning using alt text in PDFs, which is also a very good point. I know that there's some social platforms that allow you to add alt text to your pictures, which is good. Um,
Hmm.
David's asking, what 2 or 3 aspects do you use to distinguish a keeper versus the rest of the shoot?
That's a really good question. And I think it started a long time ago when I had mentors that just kept telling me to keep looking at photography. And you're just training your eye as to what you personally like and don't like. Right now, I've kind of layered on other things like, do the clothes look good? Are they selling well? Especially for this, right? I want to make sure every little variable is working for everybody. And I think that helps. So in this one, what I was very drawn to is her eyes, the way she's looking at the camera, the jacket looks great. The purse is amazing. Everything's amazing. I have some cleanup to do, but I just felt like comparatively we can just kind of roll our way through that. Um, I'm not quite seeing it yet until
Till it
I
hits.
saw her,
There she
you
is.
know? And I'm going to set that rating to 1 star. So you
Um,
can see that I also did a little bit of a treatment just to see where I could take things. This is raw out of the camera. And then I'm thinking it's looking really nice already.
so wait, so you're using 1 star as the top,
Yeah, 1 or 5.
1 or 5. Yeah, see, 1 or 5. See, that's the opposite. Yeah,
I know.
1 or 5. So
Gotta go
you
one
tend
or
to go
five.
to one for normal.
I'm gonna say, I mean, I love it. Let's do a 5.
Let's do 5.
Ah, that's so good.
I'm not sure.
I'm
I'm not trying
typically
to shame
5.
you into it. I'm learning here. I just my process normally
No,
would be like my favorite probably would be a 5. Then I might like bring things down. Um,
right. Yeah.
but
No, I think if I were doing like a true longer edit, I would probably start with 4s and then I would upgrade things to 5.
right,
But I'm noticing on set that a lot of creative directors love to do 1 star, but I want to know why.
yeah, and then maybe like
So I'm trying
add
to
more
adopt it.
stars to decrease. Interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm. Um, Also, AJ, thank you for tuning in from Daytona State College. It's great to talk to students, and we're hopeful that this is something that you can also take away and learn because we have a
yeah,
really great breadth of different levels of expertise in the chat. So, thanks for being
I
here.
love that. Thank you. All right, so let's just go back. I've kind of done a smattering of things. I'm kind of just bringing the blacks and the highlights more together, and I don't want to see all of this is called duvetine, which is just, what we would
Duvetine.
use. Yeah, we would just use it to add what we would call negative, which means just shadow. But I don't really need to see all of the texture of that. I want to see the face and the bag and the jacket. So kind of worked through our highlights and shadows here. And then film always, it has this beautiful, what I would call haze on it in some ways. It's not as punchy as digital. So digital is more like crunchy like that. So I love the clarity slider and I don't do it too heavily or heavy-handed, but I just take it down just a little bit. And I feel like this is already looking more like the film that I took, which is nice.
Yeah, it says that
Yeah,
duvetine is a twill fabric with a velvet-like nap on one side. It has a matte finish, and its high opacity makes it ideal for blocking light. Um, the more
very
you know.
nice.
Spelled Duvetine is Duvetyne. So
Yeah,
add that to your
can you believe
vocabulary.
that?
Sounds so
You'll
fancy
you'll win
too.
the spelling bee.
I
I
would never
know.
win a spelling bee, not in a million years.
No?
Yeah, no. Spell. Uh, what do you call it? Spell checker has ruined my ability to spell words. My
Really?
earlier generations would be so disappointed in me.
Yeah,
I still struggle with definitely. That's the one that I always have to think about. I don't know why.
really.
Maybe I
That's
finally
fun.
have it, but yeah, I can finally do it. Never mind. I can type it out. But for the
You
longest
can do
time,
it.
I couldn't do it for some reason. I think I
I
used to
believe
put
you.
the I think I used to put the ELEY rather than ELY, or maybe I don't even remember.
Mm.
Who knows? Unimportant. We're
Well,
we're
now you're
embarrassing
you're
myself.
oh, you're doing great.
Now, okay, so you just did something interesting here, though. Is so you wanted to apply more than the more than one treatment to or more than one image. So it looked like
Mm-hmm.
what did you copy the settings from one that you already like to then paste it onto another?
Yeah, I did.
And do you
Because
tend to
this is
do
all in
that
the same realm.
broadly across the entire shoot, or just ones that you like?
I would say I would do it based on what setup we're in. So this
Mhm.
wouldn't apply to other setups, or I might just sneak it in and see if it works, but it probably won't. So I know that I'm in the same light. This is natural light, so there will be ebb and flow
Yeah.
of what it looks like. But I just wanted to apply it, and we'll just kind of go through and if you have anything that you is like drawing your eye, let me know
Well, Wade is in
as
the
well.
chat saying that he has blacked out numerous windows with Duventine. So
Yay!
apparently he already has that on his Scrabble board. And then Peter is saying, in reference to our conversation about stars, that in a race, fifth place is last. So I guess he's doing it in the sense of, um, you know, uh, having five be his least favorite and one be his favorite, which is an interesting way to think about it.
Mark.
Um, And then also, what else we have? David saying, I do one star to determine if the photo makes the list. From there, I move them to 2 or 3 to call the group down. 3, I then print and start looking for the 4 or 5 keepers.
Ooh,
So yeah, I guess
this
this
is
is.
nice.
I'm actually going to switch up the poll on YouTube because we've got a decent amount of votes. It looks like the winner is being editorial photography. But I am going to start a new poll for anyone who's over here. Also, hello to Brandon Waffle. Thanks for being here. And I'm just going to ask which is the highest ranking of a photo? And we're going to say 1 star or 5 stars.
I want to know.
And then we'll be able to get some real scientific backed evidence of all of our viewers to see where people land on it.
Maybe we'll change the game for everyone.
Yeah. Moving forward, everyone completely upends their entire photo process in Lightroom Classic. We have a question also that you don't do any photo masking editing, which
No.
no, I feel like that can always come in later if you need to. But
Yeah,
for
I
these, it feels
think
like they jump right in.
they feel great, but like coming from a film background, I'm really attuned to making sure that things are looking good when I'm there, you know? But that's just my own bias, I guess.
Yeah, just I mean, it's kind of like the fix it in post versus fix it um, while you're filming it is two different approaches.
Exactly. I was just on set the other day talking about that, and I was like, I feel more comfortable fixing it on set and giving myself the best slate to be able to work on it later.
So already in the chat, in the poll, with 100% of the vote, it says the highest ranking of a photo is 5 stars. Meanwhile, over on Behance, it says that we have some 5 star. Sean says, I like to use the hotel ranking. That's why there is a Lone Star State. And then there is also David's asking about the poll since he's on Behance. But if you guys are on Behance, make sure you hop on over to YouTube so you can vote in here.
I want the votes.
Oh, we got the
Okay,
assistant.
so yep, always catching the stylist. So this is a different setup. So I mean, let's just pace and see what happens, but I would say I'm gonna have to start from scratch.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of blacks
not the
out some of
worst.
the edges. For this one with the scarf, is there a fan or did you have her kind of like flop it up?
You know, she did this herself, which I'm always so impressed with.
Because it seems like her hands are in her pockets, which like
I
cool
know.
skirt with pockets, that's cool. Uh, but also being able to flop it, but then also get that hand right back in there. So very impressive.
It's just great cat-like reflexes, you know?
Um, but yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, especially, do you have models that you tend to return to with work, or has it mostly been one-offs for the majority of your photos?
I think of, I mean, in our line of work, I'm trying to accumulate friends in a community. So once you find people you like, I will always recommend them for things if they feel like that would be a good fit for them. But I think there's something special with photographing people over and over again and just
Yeah,
seeing how far you can push things and find new things. There's always or already that rapport there. So
of
yeah.
course.
What do you think?
I mean, I definitely think there's something to be said about having like muses and people that you return to, but it's also so exciting to be able to constantly have a new diversity of new faces and just new
Right.
new approaches that, to your point, like maybe uh, provide mistakes that wouldn't happen otherwise. So just like everything else we've talked about today between film and digital and everything, street and studio, like it, I think both have pros and cons for sure.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so too.
and it's looking like everyone is voting for 5 stars, which is crazy. Welcome, Miss Melanie, to the chat. Says good morning, everyone from LA. Thanks for being here. We are just right now looking through curating photos into a portfolio using Lightroom Classic. We are joined by Ashley Batz. If you guys are just tuning in, this is the first show of the day. We will actually have a loaded. I'm still over here. A loaded schedule for the entire week. After this, we have Office Hours Grow to Pro with Andrew Hockrottle and Nick Longo, followed by a switch over to Twitch, which will then be Make It Pop Digital Fashion with Steffi Fong, which is a new show starting today, and then ending out the day on Twitch with On the Spot with Magdiel Lopez, which should be very fun. So make sure you guys check that out,
Cool.
and lots to see.
I want to hear more about those. What's the new show? That's so cool.
So Steffi Fong is joining us with a substance painter approach, which is really cool. Being able to take flat patterns or designs and put them onto 3D models using Substance Painter, which I am not familiar with. And so each
Cool.
week she'll be going over digital fashion, which is its own kind of emerging market. And I know that she also went to a fashion week last week. So very cool to see. And excited to check that
I
out. That'll
love
be
that.
on Twitch at 12:30. No, sorry, it will be on Twitch at 11 a.m. Pacific, which would be 2 p.m. Eastern for us New Yorkers.
That's
So,
so exciting.
yeah, and it's cool. It'll be recurring every Tuesday, which will be nice. All right, so we moved on to another set here. You have that kind of washed background, which is nice. A really
Mm-hmm.
cool figure of kind of like an hourglass with this jacket, but then have really cool kind of extended, uh, what do you call them? Ligaments to be able to have like kind of like a jet out and then back, which is nice. Um,
Yeah, we're given good shape.
yeah,
And
we
so for this one, I just wanted, so as you saw, we have the set using our word of the day, Duvetine. That's using natural light. Then you saw on the cycle, that's another maybe new word for folks, cyclorama. That's that white, the large white space that has this curved edge to it. So it kind of feels like infinity, and there's beautiful ways to light it. And now this is right up against a backdrop. My friend painted this backdrop, which is so fun to utilize other people's art in there. And I really just want to, again, marry this to the other work, make it more filmic. And a lot of film stocks have blue in the shadows and more warm tones in the highlights. So you can see here in the color grading area that I'm just doing that for us, just to kind of see where I like it. I love to take it farther than I need to just to be safe, like what if I love it? Who knows?
and that's just coloring the
So don't be
shadows and
afraid.
the highlights and the midtones, right?
Correct.
Great. We have a great
And I
question from
feel like this
Skip
is sort of looking like,
in the
yeah.
Behance chat. And it says, just moved to a new, smaller area, so the model search is limited. Do you have any recommendations for finding models?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I also come originally from a place where it was really hard to find people to work with. I'm curious what they like to shoot because maybe you'll find people at a local coffee shop or on the street. Um, I used to use Model Mayhem. I don't know if that still exists, but that was
Model
like a place
mayhem.
where, yeah, it was a place where photographers and stylists and hair and makeup artists and models could find each other and do what we would call trade for print back in the day. So it's like we all come together. It's a test shoot essentially. And I'm so curious if it still exists.
Yeah, and as a good follow up question, David actually also has a few questions. Says, do you work with clients to zero in on their target customers and then select the models to be close to their profile? Um, so yeah, which comes first, the model or the client, I guess.
It depends. Sometimes I'm not involved in the casting. So when I am, I love to be helpful in that regard and just see what we can do together. But yeah, it is important to cast someone that is relatable to your customer base, I think.
Yeah. And David, while you were working on the midtones and shadow coloring, is wondering if you ever worry about clipping on the shadows. Um, and David says, I notice you have the indicator on frequently.
Mm, I am. I am. I want to make sure I can push it as far as I can go without clipping things. I have lots of folks on set that are watching that for me as well, which is super helpful. So we just want to make sure we're not pushing things in places that it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So if they want to print it or, we're not sure what, it's just nice to have that. So it's like we still get the treatment, but we have like bandwidth to print or have the latitude to change things up.
Yeah, it's also really interesting just over the years how there's always kind of a change in taste as to exposure or levels and
Mm-hmm.
contrast. I know maybe even less of a thing in like the recent year, but like 2 years ago or so, everyone was really doing these kind of like high blasted flash photos everywhere.
Yeah,
Um,
they were.
and that was like so taboo 5 years ago, and then it was really, really
Yeah,
popular 2, 3 years ago, and then now it's kind of like not taboo, but now it kind of looks like it was shot in 2022, 2023.
I
So it's always
know.
interesting to kind of see those trends come and go.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's trending right now specifically. That's the question.
Definitely,
I guess there's a few things.
probably definitely film, probably
Yeah.
definitely for better and for worse, like blurry,
Mm-hmm.
or like things that you would traditionally have thrown away now tend up being the header image. um right, like
Yeah.
grain. It's like almost back to a Tumblr era almost, but in a new approach.
Oh my gosh. Tumblr.
um Peter said, I recently participated in a discussion about whether to use tethering or not. Do you use tethering?
Mm, I do, and it's there's good for it. I have to use it on set for my commercial clients so that I can get approval from my art directors so that we can move on. When you're tethering, you can also check if it fits in a crop. Living in a digital world, we have to say, oh, well, it needs to fit in this 4 by 5 or 16 by 9 or 9 by 16. So what are we doing here? And can I change anything up to make sure that we do that? But then again, there is a beauty in being able to shoot untethered. So I think some of my personal projects or sometimes when I'm shooting for outdoor brands, I get to shoot untethered, and that's so fun too because you can literally run wherever you want and not
Yeah.
take someone's camera computer out.
Yeah. Just go flying across the room. Um,
Uh-huh.
this is also kind of related. It's also coming from Peter, but it's saying, do you show the photos to the model while you're working or only after you finished?
That's a great question. Everything I do is really based on what's good for everybody else. And I think what I've noticed over time is I think it's better if the model doesn't see what they look like so that they can just be free and I can be their mirror.
And they don't have
But
to
then
get
there
in their
are some
head.
folks, yeah, I want them to just feel really good. But I think there are some folks that really benefit from seeing themselves and being able to kind of change their shape in real time and not feel too precious about it. And that's great too. I think you just have to identify who who those people are.
Yeah. Did she have
Yeah.
scarring on her back, or is that just her spine?
I think that's just her very straight spine.
Very straight. I have a scar. That's why I asked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. And then it says from AJ, it says, what advice would you give students on curating their first portfolio so it not only shows their best work, but also tells a cohesive story about their design journey? Which is a great question.
Mm, their first like full portfolio, you think?
Yeah, because AJ is currently watching while on campus at Daytona State College. So he's a
So
digital interactive
fun.
media student right now. And so I guess he's building out his
I love
portfolio.
that. That's such a great question. I feel like, I mean, maybe you can also speak to this too. But I think I think where I missed the mark back in the day when I was doing this was I tried to be everything to everyone. I tried to show I've shot this, I can shoot this, I can shoot this, but then it wasn't cohesive at all. What I do now is I really am thinking about what do I see? How would I curate this? And so a lot of these shoots that you'll see on my website, there will be a more digital or more commercial component to it, but I'm not necessarily showing that unless you've asked for it. So
Right.
I think really just like honing your eye, what you see, um, will be helpful in the future. And I think showing less is also more. I also have to work on that.
Yeah.
Because just keep the strongest ones. I've had a mentor tell me that people will remember the bad images. So
Yep.
just, make sure you're very much curating what you think is strong. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely always tell anyone who's approaching their portfolio to never include anything that you don't want to work on. If even if you think it's your best work, if it ends
Hmm.
up being a soccer photo shoot and you hate sports, but you're like the photos turned out so good, it's like you're not gonna want to include that because then someone who wants sports photography is gonna see that and be like, oh, this person shoots sports. So my biggest suggestion would be like make sure you are prioritizing the things that you enjoy and what you want more work of is going to
Hmm.
be something that you want to put in the light. And then, yeah, same thing, quality over quantity. If it comes to a point where, you have 10 images and I need to see more, I will ask for more. And at that point, I'm already in it. But much better than having something like, 100 images and then, only 10 being real keepers. Um, because Hothead is also saying a question about how important is it to show your improvement in portfolios. And I would say constantly curate your portfolio, constantly um, have your best work because you don't want that to look like your current work. You're going to want to be able
Hmm.
to put your best foot forward.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're showing that you've improved. I think people will know. So just make sure that new body of work is the improved work, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Um, Looking back at our poll of the highest ranking of a photo, um, 5 stars is currently winning with 93% of the vote. So 1 star is the few and far between here. Um, So I guess that probably, I mean, it's been up for about 16 minutes. I guess I could probably end out that poll.
I've been doing
You
five
could do
stars now.
you
I
could do
hear
5 stars.
I hear the
I'm not trying
people.
to shame you into anything. I'm just learning and I find it interesting. I think it's great.
No, I usually
Um,
do five. I was trying on a different hat
and we love
today.
that. We love that at Adobe Live.
I know.
Um, love the streaks of shadow in this one specifically that are creating
Yeah,
stripes in the background.
that's from that beautiful skylight. Like I said, I don't think you can beat natural light, so we're just playing with it.
Are you generally playing music while you're shooting?
It is the best part of our jobs that
Yeah.
we get to play music while we're shooting, I think. And I like to play DJ, but this could be a good poll actually. Like what radio station do you have going on your photo shoots, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'm so
say
curious.
what's the best music for a photo shoot? And I'm
Yeah.
gonna say upbeat pop.
Uh-huh.
We can do what do other people do? I guess
Something moody.
something moody, or maybe even just like silence, no music. Um, so we're gonna put that in there. Meanwhile, also in the chat, David is saying, "Can you share how you think about sequencing of photos and what you use to start and end?"
Hmm. Well, when I'm maybe on my actual website, I do have a little bit of a sense of a flow. Again, whether you know it or not is fine. It's just more helpful for me. I'm thinking about colors from one image to the next. And I'm also trying to make sure that it's not all the same crop or posing, or I'm the model's facing me and it's full body. Like I really want to show a dynamic range of what I like to do. So within this, within 5 images, it shouldn't just be like I'm standing, I'm standing, I'm standing, I'm standing. It should
Yeah.
be like it's a person standing, it's a crop of their face, it's something in movement. I love just showing the versatility, if that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great answer. Um, Warren Grant is in the chat saying, "My best DJ is DJ YouTube." And Cody
Ah,
says her music type depends on the styling of the shoot. Um,
mm-hmm.
and Apurva is saying that people listen to Chopin too, or Chopin,
Oh,
Chopin. I never know how to say that. But we
Chopin.
have a little bit less than 10 minutes left. I
Great.
know at one point you wanted to hop over to Photoshop.
Yep.
Did you think we still have time for that?
Maybe we'll export these and then export our 5 stars and then start making our PDF.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. And so when you're tending to make a PDF, are these all things that
Hmm.
you then deliver digitally? Do you send to people like via email? Or do you tend to like print these out and bring them to the shoot? How does this normally work?
This will be a digital send.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it just gives the client an idea of what your favorites from a shoot, or would this be before a shoot as a means to kind of advertise your work for portfolio sake?
This is pure advertising. Please give me work.
Okay. Please give me work. Please give me money. Please.
Hello. Please. Look what I did. Please
We
give
love
me
that.
work.
Looks like currently in the poll right now, Upbeat Pop is taking the lead with 50%. 38% say Moody,
Wow.
but 12% say Silence, no music, which is a surprise to me. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to vote for that.
What?
Um,
Crazy.
just really, really honing in. I guess people are meditating while they're taking photos.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Um,
Okay, I'm trying to find the best way to see our stars. I know that I'm in a smaller window, so I'm just wondering if I've missed it.
it might be if you
But
switch back to library. Oh, or filters. Braided. There you go.
aha!
Boom.
Yay!
And then we can see
All
them,
right.
which is good to see.
All right. So I'm just gonna go through a couple, trying to think of how many I should put in this PDF, but that's quite lovely.
Yeah,
These are
it's a nice
these are
close-up
nice. I
shot.
like these too. So I'm going to export these and I'm just going to put these on my desktop so that we know where they are.
Crazy.
Um,
That's
I know,
crazy. Something that I would do.
crazy.
But I, as the host, I'm allowed to be like, no, I would go in and I would actually label everything perfectly.
Oh,
You know what?
this is just the this is just the dry run. Let's see how it goes.
right.
Um, okay, so then let's go to our other shots where we've edited them. And let's find our filters here. Rated. Let's see, anything really special in here?
Yeah, I really love that like corset shape. It's so cool.
I know.
Um,
I think that one. I think that one.
it's very like flattering for the composition. Just I don't know, the ins and outs of everything is really cool. Especially those
Yeah,
like
it's gonna
wide set
make you want to
jeans
buy
as
it.
well. Very nice.
Right. I'm like, I'll buy it. See? That's great.
Yep.
I did a good thing.
Skip is saying I do the same as far as saving things to the desktop. You know what? So do I. But I like to take them all and put it in a folder on my desktop and say, "Hey, look, I cleaned my desktop." But then you look at my desktop and it's like 48 gigabytes. I'm like, well, I don't know about
Oh
that.
man.
Oops.
Oops.
It was funny. We were at the park this weekend, and I had a friend of mine. Like found ourselves like talking about file management while we're like sitting out on the lawn on a lovely day.
Love this.
I'm like, what is our lives?
Well, let me ask you a question. In your inbox, do you leave everything in there or do you file it away?
I leave everything in there. I am not to be
Ah,
studied. I mean, I guess I am to be studied on what not to
you
do
are.
because, yeah, man, I have friends that do inbox zero, and like like decades behind now that I'm like, there's just no way. I'm scared I would lose something. At least I can
I'm
search
inbox
everything now.
zero.
Your inbox zero. I admire you for that.
All right.
I
All
guess
right,
that'll be our
between
last
these
poll of the
two.
day. We have about 4 minutes left or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and right as we close out, I'm just gonna say inbox zero, and we're gonna say
I need to know.
yay or nay.
Okay, last one here.
Great.
Rated. Do, 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 do. I mean, that one
That's
just
the one.
grabbed me.
That's the one. That there's no question.
I just can't. All right. So I'm going to open our trusty Photoshop.
Love
And
it.
this is really what I do, everybody. This is really what I do. When I want to show all the cool work I just did, I just love dropping things in and putting them in a nice little grid. I'm also open to feedback, and I just want to see, like, is this a cool story? Does this all make sense? Is this something I can send out and show people? Again, like you can see, I'm picking things that have a variety of props. Put the favorite one in here. Actually, this one needs to be cropped itself.
It's perfection. Nothing
I
is wrong with
know.
that photo.
What?
I'm kidding.
I need help.
Skip, as I was saying, I'm mostly shooting film as well these days. Are you using a light meter to nail exposure?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
am.
It's just like a little
Um,
handy one that you just boop, right? That's fun.
just boop. It's so fun. But the thing you can do is you can still meter with your digital, and then you can probably just open up a little bit,
That's true.
just because film can handle it, which we love. I'm gonna weight the darker one on the bottom here, and I'm just going through it now,
Just kind of go off of a vibe.
finding my way. Yeah, I like when things bleed off the page. That's always fun.
Just like, oh hey, I'm still
Looking
here.
good, friends. Still here. What else do I have? I have this nice full body.
God, it's so cool how they just like come together and they just like, even though they're kind of sporadically placed across the page, they're still interacting with each other, just by being in the same composition, which is nice.
Right? I think so too. I just love these ideas that we could put something together really fast. And it's such a helpful tool, I think, for people. And it's
Mm-hmm.
something that I think it's just so nice to stay top of mind with folks, you know?
Yeah. Great. All right. Well, we got about a
All
minute
right, here we
left.
go.
Um, is there anything else you'd like to touch on before we sign off and head on over to office hours?
Ugh, I guess I don't have much time, but I was going to just quickly write my name, Ashley Batz,
We got time for that.
and try
Okay.
to do some dynamic text.
Ooh, ooh.
I was turning it
Intrigued.
dynamic. It's dynamic. So I
It's
just was playing with the idea that I could just make it. I thought I liked the idea that it could kind of show me where this could go because I tend to just do the same thing every time
mm-hmm.
and it's not as fun, you know?
Something to kind of throw you
So
off, you know?
yeah, it's gonna give me new ideas. So I just, all you do is hit a button and it turns into dynamic text, and there you are.
Brilliant. Love it. Well, thank you so much for showing us your process. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll over here. 86% of people say no to inbox zero, so I feel a little justified. But thank you so much to Ashley Batz. It's been wonderful talking to you and going through your process in Lightroom Classic. Also hopping on into Photoshop as well. Where can we find you online real quick? And then that last 10 seconds here.
www.ashleybatz.com, or my Instagram is Ashley Batz.
Brilliant. Great. Well, thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you again in the future. Make sure you guys stick around for Office Hours, which is up next. If you're on YouTube, or Behance, it should push you right on over. And we will see you real soon. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.